Welcome back to CTH. That just sounds weird. Why does everything have to be abbreviated? Crash Test Hockey. There you go. This is a second video in a series of 4 that I hopefully will finish, grading all 32 NHL teams by division. Last one I did was the Atlantic Division. I'll put up a link up top if you haven't seen that already. Today, obviously, we're going to do the Pacific. And all the stats that I'm going to end up throwing at your face through this video were taken Sunday, January 8th. So they didn't include Monday, January 9th's games on. Now, before I jump into it, I also wanted to say thank you so much to my subscribers once again for sticking with me over the past year. It's been really challenging. I know it's been a lot of big changes in my life, but next season should be a lot better. And if you happen to be new to the channel, please don't be afraid to smash that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Let's begin with the Anaheim Ducks. Like Montreal, they're all sort of where we expected them to be, you know, near the bottom of the league. A rebuilding team, blah, 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 blah. They've got a lot of promising players. The question is, when are they going to start turning this ship around? How many high draft picks do they need to continue to accumulate? Could Bedard end up going there? Well, they sure are trying their hardest because they're 8th in the Pacific, 30th in the NHL, goals for, they're 31st, goals against 32nd. Their special teams, yikes. Power plays 31st, PK is 30th. They're 4th in the league at taking penalties, too. 27th at the face-off circle. That doesn't help things. Double-digit goals. They do have 4 players in that category. Zegras, Terry, and Henrique lead the way with 12 apiece. McTavish has got 9. And when it comes to goals from their defensemen, they're 28th in the league with 11. In their last 10, they're 4-5-1. They lost their last game. When it comes to their goaltenders, Gibson, he's an 898, 7 wins in 27 games. Stolaraz, he's an 888, 3 wins in 8 games. Dostal, this is where it gets interesting, if I did pronounce that correctly. Kid's 22 years old, played about 6 games straight, and looked amazing in almost every single one. He only won 2 of them, but he's got a .909 save percentage. And if it wasn't for that sort of semi-blowout against Toronto, his save percentage would be a lot higher. So expect to see more of this kid later on. Maybe not this season, unless, of course, one of the, Stolaraz or Gibson gets hurt. How do I grade this team? I'll give him a D-. Yeah, I think that's just about right? Moving on. The San Jose Sharks. Another team is obviously rebuilding. New GM with Greer. We'll see how he does in his first trade deadline, if he can move some pieces out the door for some high picks, prospects, etc., etc. Love the New Jerseys, by the way. And they're not completely awful. They're 7th in the Pacific, 28th in the NHL, 19th in goals for, 28th in goals against. Their power play is 20th. Their PK, impressive, 2nd in the league. Penalty minutes, 24th in the league. Face-off percentage, 20th, blah, blah, blah. Players with double-digit goals, they've got 4 of them. Timo Meier leads the way with 23, a guy who should be traded for the trade deadline. He's going to be an RFA, but I think his qualifying offer is near almost $10 million. So maybe a contender might, end up trading for him, but end up having to flip him in the offseason because they might not be able to afford to re-sign him, depending on, how much the cap goes up, etc., etc. Carlson also, by the way, has 13 goals for them. He's having a killer year. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that. The total goals from their defensemen, they're 15th in the league. Not terrible for a team at the bottom with 19 goals altogether. 13 of those are Carlson's. And in the last 10, they're 2-5-3. They've lost 1. Their goaltenders, Reimer's an 895. I think he could be better than that on a contender. Look for him to maybe get traded. He's won 7 out of his 22 starts, but he's struggled, especially of late, though. Kakkonen, he's an 869. Has won 4 of 16. He's rarely looked good. How do I grade this team? I don't know. D+? Sure. And welcome to the Vancouver Canucks. Where are you going? Are you making a left? Are you making a right? Signal. Are you reversing? Because you're definitely not going forward. And word on the street is that the owner is kiboshing this team because he doesn't want a rebuild. And the fans can handle it. They want this. Do it properly. Why did you resign? Their last two GMs, I don't know how much to blame them because of, owner meddling with this group. Why they signed JT. Why they didn't trade this guy, after such a great season. Maybe there wasn't that many takers. Still, he had like 100 points. I'm sure there was. This draft is going to be so good. They need more picks. They better get something for Horvat. Like, really good. They really better cash in on that chip there. It's a shame he's got to go. But anyway, so they're 6th in the Pacific. They're 25th in the NHL. 13th with goals for. They can score. Goals against, 31st. Power play is 9th. The PK is 32nd. Face-off win percentage is 19th. Double-digit goals. Players in that category. They've got 5. Bo Horvat, of course, leads the way with 29. Wow. I think his average, I want to say, is around 25 goals. If you take out the first 2 seasons, of course. He's been terrific. I don't know what else he could do there. He's going to look good on a contending team. Total goals from defensemen. They're 32nd, dead last in the league with 8. 8. Hughes has 1 goal. And yeah, I know he's almost a point per game right now. He's got like 39 assists or something. Luke Schenn has more goals than he does with 2. It's odd. It's just, and their entire decor is like an overpaid third pairing defenseman. They're just, with maybe the exception of Hughes, of course, and I know Luke Schenn should get them a pretty penny at the trade deadline as well. Maybe he's in number 4 somewhere, max. But anyway, he's a playoff hockey kind of guy. We all know that. In the last 10, they've been 4-6-0. They've lost their last game. Goaltenders. Spencer Martin. He's 881 save percentage right now. He's won 11 of 20. Okay. Delia has come in and put up a 902 save percentage. Has won 3 of 4. Pretty decent. Of course, Demko was still on the IR, although I hear he's going to be about a weekish or so out from being back, although he was sporting an 883 before he left. Maybe the time off may put him in a better mindset to continue the season. How do I grade this team? D-. Where else do you go with that? The Edmonton Oilers. Sort of the same problems year by year, isn't it? They're better with the depth scoring now when Kane comes back. Especially, it's the goalies and the defense. Cody Ceci should not be in your top 4. I know he's been a lot better since he left Toronto and Ottawa, but they need an upgrade, maybe 2 there. And then their goaltenders, we'll get to that in a second. They're 5th in the Pacific. They're 17th in the NHL, 4th in goals for, 22nd in goals against, 1st on the power play, 23rd on the PK. That's what a new defenseman should help fix. 23rd in penalty minutes, 18th at the face-off dot. When it comes to guys with double-digit goals, they've got 4 of them. Could be 5 if Kane didn't get injured. Of course, McJesus leads away with 30. Total goals from the defense, 17th in the league. In their last 10, there have been 4, 4, and 2. Goalies. Skinner has a 915 save percentage. Pretty decent. Has won 12 of 24. Campbell, 878 save percentage. He's won 9 of 17. I hope this guy gets his game back. I don't know. Do they go out and get a goaltender before the trade deadline? They might have to here. How do I grade this team? I'm going to give them a C. You could fight me for a C+. The Calgary Flames, like the Edmonton Oilers, they've disappointed so far this season. After getting Huberdeau and Uyghur, I think we thought there was going to be this awesome team, after, fetching sort of more than they gave up in that trade with Tkachuk, although he's obviously sorely missed. But other things have gone wrong, haven't they? Especially the goaltending there, and the offense has really dried up. And Sutter is sort of a, two-way defense first guy, but they weren't having these kind of troubles last year. Majipane is having huge trouble scoring this season. Huberdeau is starting to come around, I think, but he's had a really rough start. Uyghur on defense, offensively speaking, He's had a very slow start as well. Anyways, they're 4th in the Pacific, 16th in the NHL. Goals for, they're 20th. Goals against, 16th. Their power play, they're 24th. That's got to improve. Their PK, they're 7th. Impressive. Face-off win percentage, they're 12th. They're 10th in the league in penalty minutes. Players with double-digit goals, only 3. And Kadri leads the way right now with 16. Total goals from defensemen, though, they're 6th in the league with 20. By committee, they're doing well in that category. In their last 10, they've been 6-2-2. Lost their last one in overtime. For the goaltenders, Markstrom, he's been having like a good year, bad year kind of thing going on the past 3-4 years now. He's at .894 save percentage. Vladar's a little better at .906. How do I grade them? I'll give them a C, but you could argue again like a C plus or something. It's not necessarily guaranteed either of these clubs from Alberta get into the playoffs. I mean, Colorado is sniffing their butts right behind them with games in hand. So Colorado's had a lot of injuries, but I think we all think they're going to make the playoffs, right? Which means one of those teams might get kicked out. So, anywho, wow. The Seattle Kraken. Are they going to turn into a pumpkin at some point? Because especially probably the goaltending is what I'm squinting at right now. Are you really that gonna be good like this all season? Francis brought in players like Burakovsky and Bjorkstrand respectively from Colorado and Columbus. Scooped off Tolvanen off of waivers. He's been good so far. Beniers has just taken another step. That kid's gonna be a superstar. And before the season started, I thought Hackstall would be gone by now. And this team has really turned it around. They're 3rd in the Pacific, 12th in the NHL, 7th in goals for, what an improvement there. Goals against, 17th. Their power play is also 17th. The PK is 31st. So is their face-off win percentage. They're 19th in penalty minutes. And they only have 4 guys that are double digits in goals anyways. McCann leads the way with 19. But when it comes to goals from their defensemen, they're 5th in the league with 23. They're scoring, they're defending well. They must be one of the best plus-minus group in the NHL, just the D group alone. In their last 10, they've been 6-3-1. They won their last 4. Actually make that 5 because they just beat Montreal like 4-0. The goalies. Jones has won 18-25 with an .891 save percentage. Although in his last 7, he's been a .915. And that will get even higher after today. Grubauer has only won 3-12. He's an .881. He's never felt like a fit for this team. And their 4th line alone, has 27 goals. You don't believe me? Go look it up. Donato centering Tanev and Sprong. It's like a team of second, third liners. They've been fantastic. And of course, Dunn especially has been blossoming lately on defense. And when it comes to the playoffs, they have like 4 or 5 games in hand over LA and Vegas in front of them. And the teams behind them, unless the goalie tandem completely implodes, which is possible, they should make it. How do I grade them? My expectation wasn't much to begin the season. I got to give them an A-. The LA Kings, the only team in a playoff spot right now with a minus in the goal differential department. Yeah, -4, but it's still there. They're 2nd in the Pacific, 9th in the NHL, sneakily 2nd in the Pacific, 8th in goals for, 26th in goals against, 15th on the power play, 29th on the PK, 7th in faceoffs, 16th in penalty minutes. They've got 6 players with double-digit goals. Velarde leads the way with 16. And when it comes to defensemen with goals, they're 18th with 17. In their last 10, they're 7-2-1. They won their last game. So far, they're beating Edmonton 3-1 in the second period. Oh, it looks like there's a goalie change, too. Goalies, speaking of which, Phoenix Copley has sort of saved their bacon, hasn't he? Now, he's only got a .904 save percentage, but he's been pretty good. I mean, Quick is got an .884 right now, and of course we all know what happened to Peterson. He was waived, gone down to the minors, which is where he's doing well right now. I think he's got like a .918 in the AHL. At some point, I would imagine they bring him back up, thinking maybe Copley's bubble will burst at any moment, sort of a Martin Jones kind of effect we're having here. I'm going to give this team a B. I think they're a little ahead of the rebuild curve, which is good. I expected them to sneak in a wild card spot, but, you know, the Pacific is being as bad as it is, and Calgary and Edmonton not doing as well as we thought they should. Here we are. And lastly, the Vegas Golden Knights. Sullivan has done such a great job with this team, amongst all the injuries and stuff too, especially over the past 2 seasons with this team. They've just been... Eichel is finally back. He's still there, isn't he? But, of course, it's their defense that's really been hurting them with Theodore and Whitecloud out. They're first in the Pacific. They started off really hot, didn't they? And especially their goalie, Logan Thompson, was fantastic. He's cooled off. More on him later. They're 4th in the NHL, 9th in goals for, 15th in goals against, 7th on the power play, 15th on the PK, 9th in the face-off dot, 31st in penalty minutes. They don't take many. When it comes to players with double-digit goals, they've got 6 of them. And Riley Smith leads the way with 18. And William, I hit everything on the ice, Carrier, who only plays like 12 minutes a night, has 10 on the 4th line. Amazing. When it comes to goals in their defense, they're only 25th with 15. Losing Theodore for a while will hinder that. And their last 10, they're 5-4-1. They lost their last game. Logan Thompson has got a 914 save percentage. Aiden Hill's a 902. Not horrible, but it feels like a roll of the dice every time you throw them a net. You never know what you're going to get. Will they go and, you know, splurge at the trade deadline? It's just their nature, isn't it? They don't have no cap space, but they'll figure it out somehow, won't they? Will they? Will it be on depth forward? Will it be a defenseman? Will it be even a goaltender? Someone to back up Logan Thompson? Or 1A, 1B? We'll see. Let me know what you think. In any case, I'm going to give them an A-. You could argue me up or down there, so that's it. Thanks for joining me today. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget about the Atlantic Division Review. If you haven't seen it already, you'll see a link at the end of this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to support the channel, please go to my crowdfunding page. You'll see a link down below. You can support me by the month or just a one-time deal for as little as $1. Every little bit helps. Thank you again to my subscribers for sticking with me. I feel your love. I really appreciate it. This will get better, especially starting next season. And hope to see you soon.